Hey, what's up? This is Chosen. Joining me, going to be my good friend in ColdBrew, and we're going to talk about some things going on right now, like the new dungeon, the new boss, some of the stuff going on with that. I know ColdBrew has had a lot of time to dive in and test it, so we'll get his thoughts on the oil and the different stuff coming to the game. So let's get into it. Alrighty, what's up, ColdBrew? How you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing well. I'm actually relaxing a little bit from the test server today because it was launched on Friday, right? They sent us a message that they were updating everything, I think on Friday on the test server, including the new dungeons, opening them up and everything. I was like, okay, I need to try it out. I need to make something for the community, right? Something I usually go for the more lower spenders, trying to make those kind of teams. That was my niche when I was starting out, and then I branched out when I started building more and more teams. But it was an insane weekend. Insane weekend in trying to beat that dungeon. The anger I have and how upset it made me, it's crazy.
Yeah, just a little bit of backstory for the viewers here. So this is what happened today. I'm sitting here kind of working. I get a message from ColdBrew and he says, I'm fired up. I'm pissed off. I need someone to listen to me rant. And so I said, hey buddy, I'm here for you. Let's start a call. And I was like, if we're going to chat, I might as well record it. And so here we are.
That's exactly how it went.
That's exactly how
It's so stupid. This new dungeon, it's so stupid because it's just layers and layers of RNG, and it's based on sleep. Who cares about sleep debuff? Like, when was the last time you used sleep debuff for something? Like, specifically,
Could I jump in and play devil's advocate? This isn't necessarily my opinion, but could I?
Go for it.
Plarium would say, well, that's exactly why we want to release a dungeon that introduces some new champions to having endgame relevance to help balance the game. What would that argument be?
The argument would be is you need to understand your audience and what you introduce into the game before you actually introduce it. If they had a series of sleep fusions, right? Sleep debuff fusions, all the way to the actual launch of the dungeon, and then have Ronda, the free-to-play champion, have something like a sleep debuff. It shouldn't be the most insane sleep debuff, but it should have been something like that. Like, after her hit, she applies a sleep debuff that cannot be resisted. That would have been something really nice for the community, right? To just introduce you this dungeon. But, not to make the dungeon trivial and not be something that you need to work a team with, but something. You need to introduce something. I built a common champion. What is his name? Hellhound? Let me.
Yep, that's right. Yeah. Yep.
Hellhound. He has a sleep, but I couldn't get that champion to 600 accuracy that is needed for the final stages. It's the requirements that are insane.
Because you have to get enough toughness to survive. You can't stack accuracy, or what?
You can't get to 600 accuracy without a banner. It's almost impossible. You would need insane stats and also get speed.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
You need 275 speed to go before the boss. All right, you might not want to go before the boss, but you need at least 200, or else the boss will lap you a lot. If your speed is very low, so you need at least like 200, maybe 210, and then a lot of accuracy. And since it's a common champion, doesn't have ascension, doesn't have an amulet, doesn't have a banner, so he barely has any stats. So he would get just destroyed by this boss.
Yep.
I've tried pretty much all the sleep easier champions to get, like rares. I've tried the free to get champion Mugstalker, the lizard. That is proven to be the best one of the lot in terms of how good he is, because of the 2-turn sleep. And I think that everybody will not be even trying to farm 25, 24 maybe for the more end game players, but even lower difficulties. But even so, they made the dungeon, right? They made the dungeon from 16 to 25 to have 5, like how the Fire Knight is, with 5, with 10 on his shield. No, 12 on stage 25. This one has 5. So with 5 hits, he wakes up. It's stupid. War Master triggers those hits. So you would have to run your champions without War Master. So should I change my
Wait, what?
champions to War Master?
War Master counts as an extra proc on it?
Yeah.
Oh
So
my goodness.
we mentioned that as a bug, and they didn't say anything. He said, yes, that's intentional. I was like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. It never counted as an extra hit ever in the game, but now it does.
My test server was bugged. I haven't been able to get it to work on my PC because Plarium changed. You know, viewers aren't going to know this, but Plarium changed how they do the test server, and I've been having to have Layla and ColdBrew like help me try to get it to work. So I haven't been able to do some of this in-depth testing that you're doing. Wow, the War Master counts as a bonus. If only we got that in the Fire Knight, so we could burst down the shield. Why doesn't it count as a bonus proc then?
Phantom Touch also. So if you go with Phantom Touch, that is also annoying. So it's almost impossible. And during when the sleep debuff is on, that's the only chance you have to apply the debuffs. So you have to make a speed tune work like that. You have to also count for the bosses. The boss's Terminator, which is a lot, and he boosts his Terminator as well when he wakes up from sleep, and that can be random. It's very difficult to tune. That's what I mean. So, what else is bugged? If you have something that fully depletes the boss's Terminator, your champion, like Geomancer, your champion's health goes to 0, and that triggers a bug on the boss where he stops using his A2 skill, which is the cleanse, which is, I guess, nice, but it's a bug. So I wouldn't depend on building a team based on a bug because it's gonna change. So I'm doing like double effort. If
I can finish a whole cup of coffee while ColdBrew's talking about the bugs, I don't know if that's a good sign. I'm sitting here drinking my coffee because I realized I made a cup of coffee this morning and then I got distracted and I didn't even drink it. So. Like I was walking around the house and I noticed a cup sitting there and I was like, oh, I should probably put that away or clean it or whatever. And I pick it up and it's my full cup of coffee. I'm like, damn it. So I'm having to slam my coffee while we're talking here. And I'll finish a whole cup while you're listening to bugs.
Still not done, all right? I'm still not done. Healing, all right? You're supposed to recover your max health with healing. So you bring in healers. That only works when there's a sleep debuff on the boss, which I explain how difficult it is to apply it. Because the boss is already immune to sleep every other turn that he's asleep. So it's layers upon layers of RNG. The healing does not properly reduce the enemy, the max HP that the boss destroys. So eventually your max HP will drop to very low amounts and you'll die. And it's layers upon layers of bugs. We reported them all. The boss's shield also goes to negative. It can go to negative, so that's another bug.
Okay. So should I here? Where's my hat? Here, I'll play. I'll play Plarium Devil's Advocate here. Okay. So
yeah.
What if they said, well, ColdBrew, that's how it's supposed to be. That's why we have a test server that you're supposed to go in and test this and report it.
Look. I'm not the quality control here. I am the content creator. Right? That's how they branded us. If they wanted a bug tester who plays the game and does the dungeon since Friday morning and doesn't even care about his videos going up on his YouTube channel and just plays on the test server, doesn't even bother streaming or anything. I do this silently suffering on the test server for them, and they have all sorts of bugs and they expect it to be launched soon. No, that's not the way to go. If you want quality control, you pay them, right? I am there to actually make content on YouTube, and the content we all made today, if everybody else has seen the videos on YouTube, it's everybody bashing on on Plarium, like just that this is the worst content, and it is the worst content when you make end game only content. You restrict 95% of the community from actually enjoying the game with their champions. When you include the resource, which is energy, as another way to get stronger, but you make it so difficult to get stronger, you add another, decision for players out there on, okay, should we do this new dungeon to get ascensions on our gear? And then your gear is totally random on the ascension. It's completely random, and it's even worse than re-rolling. I would guess.
We actually ran into exactly what you're talking about. In the I have another channel where I cover the Diablo community, and we were in the Diablo 4 beta, and we ran into exactly what you were talking about, where we were playtesters because we couldn't like do content or anything. And it really demotivated us from playing the game because we can't enjoy it with viewers, we can't stream it, we can't interact with people. So you're right, I kind of agree with what you're testing there. But let me put on my Plarium hat again here. Let me. So
gonna burn that hat.
so wouldn't it be good that they design a dungeon that, okay, if they release more content for new players, they're already overwhelmed. New players already have so much that they need to do, so much that's thrown at them. Wouldn't it be good to throw more end game goals out there to extend the amount of time before people get bored and quit, so that people can feel like they have a 3-year journey ahead of them? Like, oh, eventually someday I'll be strong enough to take down that boss. Wouldn't that be a good thing to have a blend of those kind of mechanics?
Yeah, I would guess that's a good argument there, but they would need to lock out the dungeon completely from newer players, because they shouldn't even have the question in their minds. They should understand that even the Hydra, lock it out. Don't open it at level 45. Open it at level 65. All right. Let the players get seasoned a little bit with the game, understanding it. I don't care if they're spenders or not. Spending does not mean you're gonna learn the game. And I understand they want people to spend, but it's not just if you show this new content, it's magically gonna make people interested more about the game. What I feel like is that they'll immediately push for lesser, greater, and superior oils through packs. That will be the number one thing.
I gotta go back to being chosen. 100%, dude. The packs are coming. And the packs have been really underwhelming lately. I keep talking about this in my videos where I pull up the show. This is the longest dry spell I can remember when it comes to packs. Like, without us getting one of those like banger, like no-brainer $10 pack that's like $25 of value. We haven't gotten one of those in so long.
Yeah, it's been pretty rough in that sense, because I always was waiting and recommending for people to wait for the Black Friday packs. The Black Friday packs this time around were not so special. We had a lot of packs.
It was the worst of the.
We had a lot of packs, and I think Smiley, who does his reviews on the packs a lot, he posts it on his Discord. He says some of those were good, but they weren't those amazing packs, which I remember. Remember.
Let me have Smiley's back here. Smiley, he doesn't rate them if they're good or not in terms of like a financial investment. Smiley ranks them if they're good or not based on the average of what you would expect to see in game. So he's grading it like, oh, this is better than what you usually get from Plarium, so it's technically good. So that bar can change based on what we're kind of getting from Plarium, I think, is kind of how he does it. Because when I sat down with him to build our offer calculator for the website, he really wanted it to be like that. He wanted players to be able to understand, like, is this above average, below average, and like take our like personal financial bias out of it. So that's kind of how he grades it. But before I forget, there was something I wanted to ask you, and that is, would your opinion of the new dungeon change if the holiday fusion coming up here for Christmas is a good sleep champion?
Depending on the difficulty of the fusion. It would depend on the difficulty of the fusion, because they could make it very difficult with like a 4,000 points requirement on a summoning event, where you need to do both the summoning event and the summoning tournament, which is how they usually get you, right?
Let me put my hat on again. So wouldn't it be good to wouldn't it be like, we don't want the entire player base to get a champion for free. Players should feel like they've earned a champion. It should be difficult to acquire.
Yeah. They should earn it, but it should be the same difficulty as before, right? Like, not suddenly ramp up the difficulty as you did with ramping up the sacred shards with Elva, right? That was like a testing the player pool if they would spend for her.
Oh, 100%. It's trying to gather analytics on this is how many players go after for 15. This is how many go after for 20. This is how good Elva is. This is how good this champion is. Yeah, they're just trying to find that line of where they can kind of get people to actually use their resources. So, no, I agree with you. Okay, well, it's gonna be now. I'm finally kind of getting to the point where the test server is working for me, so I can try to help out a little bit on some of this testing. And I'm sure we'll have lots of more collabs on me and ColdBrew's channel, and talking about how to use oil efficiently and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, is there anything else you wanted to get out before we wrap up? I don't want to keep you forever today.
Well, no, definitely check out our videos. I did the blog post over on the website where I talked a little bit about efficiency.
You did really good on that, yeah.
I did a video covering it on my own because I didn't know how busy you were. But we could definitely do another one once we get some data mined info, where we can get the proper distribution of the odds on the drop rates, and that will actually give us a real image of the efficiency in there.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Well, thanks for interacting with the Plarium employee that wanted to have some counter arguments with you and
rant for the past 20 minutes.
And I'm here for you if you ever want to call and start ranting, and we'll hit the record button and include the viewers as well.
Oh my god.
All right, I'll link to ColdBrew's channel down below. Definitely check him out for daily Raid Shadow Legends content. And thanks, ColdBrew. Have a good one.
Cheers, Matt.